You ever wonder why sometimes a girl won't say a single word about her feelings, but her actions scream louder than any confession could? The truth is, attraction is rarely verbal. It hides in the way she looks at you, the way she behaves when you're around, and the tiny subconscious signals she probably doesn't even realize she's sending. If you've ever felt confused, asking yourself, does she actually like me, or am I imagining it? This video is going to change the way you see everything. Welcome to the Influencer Trap, the channel where we decode hidden tactics, expose manipulation, and teach you how to protect yourself in a world full of games. But today, we're flipping the script just a little. We're not just talking about how people manipulate you. We're uncovering the psychological signs that reveal if a woman is secretly into you. And trust me, once you understand these signals, you'll never miss them again. Here's the catch. Most guys think attraction is about what a girl says. Wrong. Words can be rehearsed, faked, or used to mislead. But the body, the unconscious mind, that doesn't lie. In this video, I'm going to break down the subtle, almost invisible signals that show when she's actually interested. The kind of signals women don't even realize they're giving away. And as we go through this, you'll see real-life examples that'll make you think back and realize, oh my god, she was showing me this all along and I had no idea. Let's dive into the first sign. Imagine you're in conversation. Maybe you've mentioned a random fact about yourself, that you love a certain type of chocolate, or you've got a little habit like always tapping your pen when you're thinking. A week later, she surprises you with that chocolate, or she jokes about your pen tapping habit. That's not coincidence. That's memory, attention, and investment. When someone remembers the small details you barely even remember yourself, it's because they care. Psychologists call this selective attention. We filter out what doesn't matter, and we hold on to what we value. If she's remembering those things, you're not just background noise in her life. You're the highlight. And here's where it gets even deeper. Women who are secretly attracted often won't risk big, obvious moves. Instead, they drop these tiny breadcrumbs. Remembering your coffee order, asking how your big presentation went, or bringing up something you said in passing weeks ago. It's subtle, but it's powerful, because what she's really saying is, you matter enough for me to pay attention. So now, let's connect this with real life. Think back. Has there ever been someone who seemed to remember things about you that nobody else cared about? Maybe you thought, wow, that's nice of them. Chances are, that wasn't just kindness, it was interest disguised as casual attention. Now let's peel back another layer. If you really want to know whether she's secretly into you, watch her body language when you're around. Words can be controlled, but the body leaks the truth. Picture this. You walk into the room, and suddenly, she fixes her hair, adjusts her clothes, or sits up straighter. She didn't plan it. Her subconscious is preparing her to be noticed by you. Psychologists call this preening behavior, tiny adjustments to look more attractive without ever saying a word. If she only does this when you're near, it's not random. It's attraction leaking through her nerves. And here's where it gets even more revealing. Notice her eyes. If she holds eye contact a second longer than normal, or if you catch her looking at you, when she thinks you're not paying attention, that's one of the clearest signs of hidden interest. Eyes don't just look, they lock. And when they lock, it's because something deeper is pulling them in. Another sign, she gets nervous around you, but not in a bad way. Maybe she stumbles over her words, laughs at things that aren't even that funny, or starts playing with her jewelry, her nails, or the sleeve of her shirt. Nervous energy is a sign her emotions are heightened in your presence. She doesn't do this around everyone, but with you, her guard slips. Now let's talk about proximity. If she's always finding ways to be near you, sliding into the seat next to yours, showing up in the same places, or inventing random reasons to cross paths, that's not coincidence. That's a pull. Humans don't move closer to people they're not drawn to. If she's orbiting around your world more than chance would allow, you've got a clue she doesn't want to stay distant. Think about this in real life. Ever notice someone laughing just a little louder when you're in the group, or suddenly needing your help with something minor like carrying a box or explaining a task she could easily figure out herself? That's not weakness. That's strategy. She's giving herself an excuse to connect with you. But here's the twist. Women who are secretly into you often won't just say it. Instead, they'll build this invisible bridge. Little signals, little nudges, waiting to see if you'll notice. And if you're blind to them, you might miss out on something real. So let me leave you with this question before we move deeper. Is there someone in your life right now who always seems to be in your orbit, who remembers details, who gets nervous in small ways around you? Because if there is, it might not be an accident at all. Let's go even deeper, because attraction doesn't just show up in what she does, it shows up in how she unconsciously mirrors you. Have you ever noticed that when you lean back, she leans back too? When you cross your arms, a few minutes later, she's doing the same. That's called mirroring, and it's one of the clearest psychological indicators of connection. Why? Because our brains are wired with something called mirror neurons, and they activate when we feel bonded to someone. It's like her body is subconsciously saying, I'm in sync with you. Now, let's add another layer. Compliments. But here's the trick. Women who are secretly into you rarely make it obvious. Instead of blurting out, "You're so hot," they'll wrap their interest in small, seemingly casual comments. Maybe she says, "That shirt looks good on you," or "You're actually really funny." Notice that word, actually. That's a disguised compliment. It's her way of giving you approval while still protecting herself from being too direct. And here's a sign most guys completely miss. Playful teasing. If she pokes fun at you in light-hearted ways, calling you out on something silly, joking about a habit, or creating little nicknames, it's not rejection, it's investment. Psychologists call this testing behavior. She's playfully pushing to see how you respond, because deep down, she cares how you react. But one of the strongest hidden signals, jealousy. Watch her reaction when you casually mention another woman, or when you're giving attention elsewhere. She might go quiet, shift her energy, or even throw in a sarcastic comment like, "Oh, you must really like her." That little sting of jealousy isn't about possession, it's about care. If she didn't like you, she wouldn't care. But the fact that she reacts, even in subtle ways, is a massive clue. Think about this. Jealousy is one of the hardest emotions to fake, because it comes straight from the gut. Even if she's trying to play it cool, her tone, her face, or her silence will give her away. It's a signal that says, "I want your attention, and it bothers me when it goes elsewhere." Here's another powerful tell, time investment. Does she spend hours talking to you, even when the conversation isn't really about anything important? That's not boredom, that's a choice. Time is the most valuable thing we have, and if she's giving you hers, consistently, it's because she feels a deeper connection. So step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. Mirroring, disguised compliments, playful teasing, jealousy, and investing her time. None of these are accidents. These are unconscious signs of attraction that slip through the cracks, no matter how much she tries to hide them. And here's the reality most men never realize. Women rarely come out and announce their feelings first. Instead, they build this web of tiny signals, hoping you'll be sharp enough to notice. If you don't, they'll assume you're not interested, and eventually they'll pull back. So I'll ask you again. In your life right now, is there someone who mirrors you, who gets a little jealous, who playfully teases you in ways nobody else does? If yes, maybe she's not just being nice. Maybe she's waiting for you to wake up and see the truth. Now, here's where things get even more powerful, because sometimes the strongest signs she's secretly into you aren't about attraction alone, but about protection and emotional investment. When a woman truly feels connected, she'll subtly start looking out for you. Maybe she calls you out when you're pushing yourself too hard, reminds you to eat, or checks if you got home safe. On the surface, it looks like casual care, but underneath, it's emotional attachment. She's not just thinking about you when you're in front of her, she's thinking about you when you're not around. Another sign, she includes you in her personal world. If she's inviting you into her inner circle, introducing you to her friends, sharing personal stories, or letting you see sides of her that most people don't, that's not casual, that's intimacy. Attraction might start with looks and playful signals, but when she begins to merge you into her world, it's because she wants you in it long term. And here's a psychological twist most men never see: future pacing. If she starts using phrases like, "When we go there someday," or "You'd love it if we tried this," she's projecting you into her future. That's not small talk, that's subconscious commitment. Her mind is already weaving you into her storyline, whether she admits it or not. But there's another layer: emotional vulnerability. When a woman feels something deeper, she'll let her guard down in ways she doesn't with others. Maybe she shares her insecurities, her fears, or things she usually keeps locked away. That's not weakness, that's trust. And trust is one of the clearest signs of hidden attraction, because nobody exposes their soft spots to someone they don't value. Think about this. She might not say "I like you" directly, but the fact that she's trusting you with a raw, unfiltered version of herself says it louder than words ever could. Now, let's pause and connect the dots. Across this video, we've looked at signs of secret attraction, from remembering small details, to nervous body language, to mirroring, playful teasing, jealousy, time investment, protective behaviors, vulnerability, and even future pacing. None of these signals on their own are absolute proof, but when you start seeing them stacked together, that's when the truth becomes undeniable. And here's the final truth I want you to walk away with. Women rarely spell it out. They communicate attraction in whispers, in micro-movements, in subtle choices. If you learn to read these signals, you'll stop second-guessing yourself, you'll stop missing opportunities, and you'll start recognizing when someone is quietly trying to show you you matter to them. So ask yourself this: who in your life is giving you these signs? Who's been dropping the breadcrumbs, hoping you'd finally notice? And the real question, now that you can see them clearly, what are you going to do about it? Because the last thing you want is to look back months from now and realize you missed out on something real simply because you didn't recognize the signs that were right in front of you. This is the influencer trap, where we decode hidden tactics and expose the unspoken games of influence. If this video opened your eyes, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the truths most people are blind to. Trust me, what's coming next on this channel will change the way you see the world.